Our guest today is Nidhi Maitrya, who, after quitting her successful career in the insurance space, launched an online business that nearly crashed on the day before its launch, and how she navigated those stormy waters and today has built three successful businesses of her own. And more importantly, in the Indian context, she did all of this after becoming a mother. Welcome, Nidhi, to my fledgling podcast. I'm very excited to have you here.
Thank you so much, Raghav. Thank you for having me. And I'm excited to share my journey in a more formal way. So, yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah, I was looking
Yeah.
at your LinkedIn as well, and you began your career in the insurance space, right? And from there to where you're today, you're a solopreneur. You're also running a farm stay. It's like a very different, like the starting points and where you are currently are very different trajectories. So how did you end up here?
So, yes, Raghav, so it's been 15 years now. I think back then, yes, like you rightly pointed, I started my career in the insurance domain. I was a management trainee with a leading insurer. And then I progressed to a head office underwriter in the same organization. So I had a 5-year corporate career with this insurer. And that's when I started writing these exams. So Insurance Gurukul, my first venture, is actually an online space where I coach students for Insurance Institute of India exams. So these exams were written by me when I was working with this leading insurer, and I was a gold medalist. So I cracked all those. So there are close to 12, 14 papers that you need to write to become a fellow of III. So my journey began from there, Raghav. So I cleared these papers, and I was an All India first rank for these examinations. And then I think something in me told me that, it's time that I kind of carve my own path. To be very honest, I didn't have any issues with my, the kind of setup I was in my corporate world. I think it was it was a great learning for me. And with my bosses also, I think I have always looked at them as my mentors. So I think it was a great working environment. So I wouldn't say that something happened there and that's why I thought, okay, fine, chalo, abhi khud ka kuch karenge. I think I always had that yearning that, I want to carve my own path.
Right.
Even if it is not perfect, even it is not like, um, even if it is like, not perfect, even if it has a lot of challenges, I wanted to call it my own. This is something, मैंने जिंदगी में आगे कुछ किया है,
How did you know
and
that the time was right to make that jump?
I'll tell you. So what happens, like just I told you that I cleared these papers and I was posted in head office with this insurer, and that was in Pune. So as a part of a role or the profile that I was handling, I was supposed to visit the branch offices, pan India. And I had to, like, as a head office underwriter, I used to visit the branch offices, the satellite offices, where we used to kind of guide the junior underwriters on, how to underwrite policies and, if they're facing any issues. It was back then, Raghav, when I used to visit these offices, that I realized that there was a tremendous knowledge gap between, like, between the role that was given to an individual as compared to the knowledge that they had for that subject. And for me, that was the white space. That was something which I noticed it for like 1.5 years, and I just felt that people are not able to deliver because they are not adequately informed about the subject.
Mhm.
And that's when I thought that now, because I have cleared these papers, now because I have the knowledge, why not, start teaching it to these folks, and, like, build a model around it. Actually, उस समय, honestly, Raghav, I don't think so कि I was thinking कि मैं अपना खुद का business start करूंगी. I just wanted to add value. That's all. I thought because I know this, it'll be interesting to, like, pass it on. Slowly, थोड़ा सा धक्का खा के, and, just to, like, you keep thinking about it, like how to, turn it into something which kind of makes money as well. I think slowly it evolved into a proper business model, and this was an online space. Like, it was a digital model for me, and like I started preparing content. I made the content for all the papers that I had written, and then, so usually that model scaled up. Then I hired freelancers and stuff like that, and now it's a proper digital business. So it's a subscription based model. People come on website, they pay for the module, they get the access, and if they have any issues, they can reach out to me and we help them through customer
Did you start
care.
building it while you were doing your full-time work, or did you leave that and then begin?
No, Raghav, I started while I was at my job, क्योंकि मुझे पता था कि वो ground work करना पड़ेगा. And I started preparing myself mentally around 1.5, 2 hours before I actually quit my job. तो ये मेरे माइंड में था कि नहीं, ठीक है, आई हैव टू डू समथिंग इन दिस स्पेस. बट आई डोंट नो, तब तक उतना करेज नहीं आया था दैट यू कुड लीव योर वेल पेइंग जॉब. आई थिंक सैलरी इज एन एडिक्शन.
Yeah.
मुझे लग रहा था कि आई मीन, should I do this, should I not, I'm doing well, I was about to get promoted. तो वो डायलेमा था रहा. That was there, but I don't know, one fine day something happened and I was just walking back home with my husband, and I just told him, I think now is the time. I'm just quitting. I'm not even serving my notice period. I just want to just I just want to begin now. I think it's so, it's an irony. I didn't even serve my notice period. I didn't even get the salary for the remaining, period. And I was like, no, that's fine. I'll just be on my own now. So I think वो एक calling था. It just came one day, and I just didn't think about anything else. I'm like, अब करना है, time आ गया है, and I'll just begin. So that's how Insurance Gurukul started, Raghav, and that was way back in 2012. And before that, I had like 5 years of like a proper corporate career with an insurance company. Yeah. So that's how it all started.
And
Yes.
was your journey with Insurance Gurukul all smooth sailing?
Not at all. Not at all. So I'll tell you, Raghav. So the question pattern that, so when I cleared these papers, Raghav, the, the question paper pattern was descriptive. So you had to write those long answers, and it was there, uh, like it was a similar pattern for like almost say 40 years, of that institute being running. And so when I tell you that I prepared for these, I prepared the content, and I started doing stuff. I prepared it in such a way that people could read it descriptively. So I prepared the presentations, I prepared that long form content, stuff like that. And this is like a day before my website was about to get launched. And in the night, I received this email from Triple I that from now onwards, the question pattern has changed and it is all objective. And I was like, are you serious? I mean, I was about to go live the next
Right.
day. It was like, it was tremendous excitement. I had spent almost 2.5 years to build like the first 4 modules right from scratch, books पढ़ के, mark करके, what I had learned with my journey, and how it will help the students. मतलब, and like suddenly this one day I get this email in the night that what, the pattern has changed, and now it will be a objective pattern, just like we have for like our MBA exams, CAT
Yeah.
and stuff. Then Raga, I still remember that day. I do not know, like I think it was like a major blow to, like, I mean, I cannot even express how I felt. And I think that feeling, I think that is when I think the family support came in. um, I think Apur, my partner, was like very supportive, and he's like, एक बार फिर से try करते हैं. I'm like, my God, 2.5 years. It's of no use now. Those PPTs are of no use now because people wanted a mock test,
Yeah.
pattern questions, like जहाँ पे वो लोग practice कर सकें, like, they can, if they wanted an LMS kind of a thing where,
Yeah.
they can, like, yeah. So then, like, I think Raghav, then I restarted. I again paused it for another, say, 8 or 9 months. I redid the entire content again, and then I went live in almost a year's time from that date. So I think वो जो 1 year का roadblock था, that really played on my mind. And but I think what doesn't break you makes you stronger. So then I was like, fine.
And like, I can't imagine it would have been, like you said, it was a tough period for you mentally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, what went through your mind during that 1 year period? Because you were about to launch the next day.
Yes. I thought there were so many feelings. I think first that dilemma that whether I made the right decision
Right.
and was it too soon? मुझे थोड़ा सा और prep करना चाहिए था. I should have like thought through. Um, I think the biggest growth for me, Raghav, was leaving my employee mindset and then getting onto a space where you were like absolutely all by yourself. You know, corporate employee comes with a certain cushion, no matter what, how bad the day goes, no matter how difficult, how long the hours are, you still have that safety net of, getting your salary at the end of the day, at the end of the month, you still know, ki theek hai, you know. I think when you're on your own, if this doesn't work, there's nothing happening. You're not adding value. You're completely broke, you know, you're not adding value. आप कुछ दे नहीं सकते. You're not getting the money at the end of it. I think वो feeling to like just kind of make it a normal, which I now understand that it's a normal thing of starting up and things will happen like that. It will not go your way. In a split second, things will change and you have to like, make a new decision and then work on it. I think that was the part, Raghav, that was the most difficult for me to come to terms with.
Yeah.
Now I'm like all there on that barren piece of land, and I'm everything. I have to manage everything, right from marketing to like kind of operations to kind of the stuff life is throwing at you. अब वो जो cushion था, वो जो grid था, that's been taken away. So I think just to come to terms to that fact was like a great learning curve for me. Yeah. So now after doing like and now with my multiple small businesses and stuff like that, like after 15 years, it is a normal for me, Raghav.
Right.
Now it doesn't hit me the way I still remember it happened on year one, because now I know it's supposed to happen this way. So yeah. So that
And
was the part. Yeah.
and when did you reach the point with Insurance Gurukul where you decided, okay, now let me start a second business?
Yes, Raghav. So what happened, no, Raghav? So like told, I started back in 2013.
Yeah.
So it took, I think the first 3 years for Insurance Gurukul were pretty difficult. Like I told you, we had to change the question pattern and stuff like that. So I think 2013 to 2016, I was able to break even, you know. Um, there were more fixed costs and the operating costs that were involved in the business, and I was trying to make the ends meet. But I think after 3 years, it was a hockey stick growth for me. Um, things just like started rolling. And another 5 years, I think, yeah, I was in a very happy space. Insurance Gurukul gained momentum. And we also, during that time, Raga, uh, we also got an opportunity to tie up with certain foreign universities. So that was CII UK and like one more institute. And I think they tied up with us because they wanted us to be their distributors in India, because we had a large database of students who were enrolled with us. So we were around 40,000 students enrollment during that time, and that's how we started receiving these collaborations. So for me, that was a kind of a validation that things are in momentum now. But like I said, I think all my businesses were like kind of a reflection of my own personality. It was like an extension. So for me, my compass is always inside out. So what happened, Raghav? This business, after a certain while, I think the kind of bandwidth that it demanded from me to make it from a one to an N kind of a business, I kind of associated it with the cost. I mean, the see, there's always a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
I know there will be a cost involved to it. और वो cost था, Raghav, for me, it was the time with my family, and I was raising a daughter at that time. So Anya and my Insurance Gurukul happened at the same time. तो मुझे ये पता था कि see, if I want to take it from 1 to N, I didn't feel like it was a capability issue, Raghav. I knew that I had to step out of the house. I knew that I had to build a team. I knew that I had to start working. I knew कि मुझे B2C से B2B move करना है अब. Because because there are many companies where the employees write these examinations. So I could do B2B tie-up and pitch my course there, stuff like that. But somehow I just felt कि वो जो bandwidth लगेगी for all of that,
Yeah.
I'll have to sacrifice something.
Right.
I'll have to trade off something. And I think somewhere that was a non-negotiable. So I think I didn't want Anya to come back to an empty house. I always wanted that one parent has to be around. So I think वो मेरे family values थे, Raghav, that were little non-negotiables for me. And that kind of like I shunted my own growth. At that time, I used to think, but I think something in me didn't let me move. That is the time, Raghav, when I started thinking about a second income. I thought कि ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, I can't move out, but uh, is there a way I can start a second income? And that's how, Raghav, so we had a property in Jaipur that time. We had built a house there. And I just thought, why not, put that asset to work?
Mm.
That's how we started researching about Airbnb, the model itself. And I remember like I took almost a week. I researched online how do Airbnbs work and, who are super hosts and how can I, generate a recurring kind of a revenue, how to set up a house, how to put photos. I think wo pura ground research, me and my laptop, I did it for another 1 week. And people said, and so I stay in Bangalore, Raghav, and my house is in Jaipur. So people said कि remote hosting nahi hoga. Like, that is the model. It doesn't work. You have to be there and all. That is when I started thinking, what if I work on the process? I make the process so clear and transparent that people coming in or the guests coming in, they need not, it should be automated to an extent that they only reach out to me if like something big,
Right.
I mean, if there is a major issue. Otherwise, most of the things should be taken care of, So that's how I started reading about, how to make that process very convenient, very seamless. And it worked, Raghav, I think. मैंने उसके बाद में I didn't think much. I was just like कि मैं अगर process set कर दूंगी, then I can do remote hosting. I got a caretaker there. I went there. I kind of coached him on the entire thing, how I want things and stuff like that. So I think that's how Airbnb happened, Raghav. And we ran it like very successfully for like around 6 years. That we started back in 2017. So 2022, 2023, like I think for that also, like I think we ran it very successfully. We became super hosts and I got a guest favorite rating on my profile. We are like now 120 reviews, 4.98. It's very difficult to get a 5-star rating, like in a hospitality business. Like you have to get multiple things right, like it's a very unforgiving business. So,
Right.
to manage people expectations and, stuff like that. I think it was a journey. So that's what pushed me, Raghav, to add the second stream of business.
Right.
By doing the remote hosting, but still, kind of having that freedom to to having that freedom to make my own choices, to have control over my time. Now I feel, Raghav, I think I was not building businesses. I think I was just designing a life. For
Okay.
me, I think now I understand. I mean, that I think मेरा वो constant push था that I want something which gives me the freedom to have control over my time. बस वही. So I think I don't think so कि I was thinking कि इससे ये business बनेगा, इससे ये business बनेगा. I wanted a financial independence, लेकिन मुझे अपनी life design करनी थी उसके around. So every move that I took was in that direction. So
Yeah.
that's what
And,
worked, Raghav. So yeah.
and what surprised you the most about this second business? Because hospitality is very different from an online education business, right? What took you most by surprise?
Yeah, sure. Raghav, because it was actually so different. क्योंकि Insurance Gurukul में I was the domain expert, right? Like people are asking me the questions कि ठीक है, how do stuff. Suddenly you're a host when you are doing a hospitality business, you know. So I think there were many things that took me by surprise. But if I have to just put a finger on one, I think the psychology of people, like how people think, you know, because every guest is different.
Right.
The same amenity for one guest, it could be a decent thing, okay, working for that guest. But for the same amenity for the other guest could be a deal breaker. So I think वो लोगों की psychology पढ़ना, like how people think about stuff, I think that was a game changer for me. And I think I have become a lot more patient. I think वो patience element has increased manifold since the time I got into running an Airbnb.
Right. And
Because yeah,
how did you navigate that psychological difference between different guests to reach a point where you have a 4.98 rating?
mm,
Like, how did you manage those guest expectations?
I think Raghav, I learned on the job, I would say. ऐसा कोई full proof plan नहीं बनाया था मैंने that I'll make a 50-page business plan कि okay, things have to go. I think with every guest I learned what worked and what did not. And the things that didn't work, if it was an honest feedback, we made an effort to kind of improve it. And that's how we kept learning, I think. So I think it was one guest after another, after another, after another. But I think that constant, we were very open to take the feedback.
Right.
We didn't feel that we have arrived, bas bana diya, ab this is what it is. Ab aap dekho, like it's your thing.
Right.
It was always our thing. So I think the onus was always on us to make the experience better. And like you can just do your best. I mean, now with Hidden Eden, I understand that like even after, like it's the same philosophy we follow there, but I also understand that I can just do my best and keep learning and keep evolving.
Right.
And that's why it's 4.96. That's why it's not 5 all the time, because you can just do your best. I think
Right.
realization I have come to terms now. That's why it's not 5 on 5. It's
Right.
4.96 because you have to be ultimately, you have to understand you can just do your best.
And like with Insurance Gurukul, you faced this big obstacle when you were about to launch and the curriculum changed.
Yes,
Were
yes,
there any such obstacles with the Airbnb business as well?
yes, Raghav. So, the second guest that we hosted, uh, so they kind of took our stuff away from our house. And that is when all the noise started coming in कि model नहीं चलने वाला है, you do not know, and like it's a risk, right? It's a risk,
Yeah.
especially for the people, because like it's a society, right? Especially for the residents staying besides your own house. I think it had become a big risk. And luckily that time, like I wrote to Airbnb and I got to understand that if you are a super host, Airbnb kind of gives you an insurance for your house. So if any unpleasant guest experience happens, Airbnb shall make the payment for it. They'll reimburse you for the stuff. That is when I started aspiring to be a super host, because this was a very, very exclusive perk only for a super host. And I think, Raghav, like you said, I think वो वाला जो hit था, I took it, I think, in a more calmer way because I had a journey of Insurance Gurukul. तो मुझे ये तो पता था कि see, if you have to be on your own, it will not come easy.
Right.
और मुझे पता था कि every I think every difficult circumstance does have a solution.
Right.
It may or may not be a perfect solution, but you will reach somewhere, you know. तो मुझे ये पता था कि ठीक है, this has happened, and that is how I think, Raghav, we started putting a lot of filters for the listing. So I
Okay.
started hosting only families.
Right.
हम लोगों ने जयपुर के लोकलाइट्स होस्ट करना, we stopped totally.
Okay.
So we started hosting only tourist families. So people, because we know tourist families, when they come there, they just want to see the place. They'll use an apartment only in the night, you know. They'll have breakfast, they'll leave. So I
Yeah.
think we created a lot of filters with that listing, with that one incident happening, which I hadn't expected, but it happened. But then I thought, ki, theek hai, if I do it within the grid, within the rules of the system, things can work. And I think by far it has worked, Raghav. I think, but yes, you also sacrifice a lot of revenue in such cases. But I think just the fulfillment of running it with your own ethos, because you keep a lot of revenue on the table when you're not hosting. Like, you know, you आपने बहुत सारी demographies तो हटाई दी. Like, you're just
Yeah.
saying this show. So I think the pros and cons of balancing stuff and like just running it with your own ethos, you know. So I think I was okay sacrificing stuff, sacrificing some sort of money. And that's how I kept thinking of, you know, always building multiple sources of income.
Yeah.
क्योंकि जब आप अपने ethos और अपने values से काम करते हो, तो I think you have to sacrifice the commercial aspect of it at some times. वो
Yeah.
नहीं होगा. So
Right.
I think we made peace with it as a family, and we were like, nahi karna hai. We'll only do what our system allows us, and we'll see how we can grow in that particular ecosystem.
Mm.
So that's how Airbnb ran. But yeah, again that business also hit a roadblock because I think our society rules changed, Raghav.
Oh.
So they were, I think, after 5 years of running it very successfully, they were not okay to kind of run an Airbnb in a commercial setup. That depended on the kind of like. So we have a committee, right? Every apartment had a committee. So depending who was kind of ruling the committee or sitting on the committee at that time, they had different opinions about Airbnb as a model.
Yeah.
मुझे ये हिंट आ गया था कि see, if you have to work on your own rules, you have to have your own land.
Yeah.
We ran a platform risk also. Airbnb as a model was received a lot of criticism in European countries, you know,
Yeah.
because, you know, of course it was spoiling the short-term rental market and rentals were going high. बीच में ऐसा हुआ था कि Airbnb बंद हो जाएगा इंडिया में, India will not accept Airbnb anymore. तो वो मुझे after 4 years हमें, I think, and I used to keep discussing it with Apur as well. I think both of us realized that, you know, it runs a platform risk. But the platform itself is a risk. Tomorrow Airbnb is not there.
Yeah.
Then what do I do with that asset? Do I want to put it on a rental? I think I did not want to do that. Why? Because with Airbnb, my biggest, I think my comfort was, one was the insurance part, Raghu, because if any untoward incidents happens, I know Airbnb was there to reimburse. And second, they had a very stringent KYC process. Airbnb doesn't let you make an account on their platform unless and until you like passed multiple stages of KYC.
Yeah.
So I think वो जो दो चीजें थी, that kind of gave me the comfort to like keep running this asset on Airbnb for like 5 years. Lekin with all of this, like I said, that society ke committee had some concerns, and then Airbnb as a platform also received a lot of criticism in like back in 22-23. तो हमें लगा कि यार अगर, but we had a great experience running that, running that sort of a business model. I think we had a great time. We met a lot of good folks. We had certain roadblocks. That's fine, but I think वो goodness को देखते रहते हैं, तो I think you keep getting inspired and you keep kind of pushing yourself that more good is on the way. And that is how Raghav, I think we landed with Hidden Eden. क्योंकि
Right.
हमें चाहिए था कि हमारा लैंड होगा, हमारे रूल्स होंगे, we will be the king and queen, we'll decide. So Hidden Eden was a collective dream for both Apur and I. So we thought कि ठीक है, let's get a piece of land and let's do the similar thing, but in a more kind of a bigger manner. Yeah, slightly scaled up, and that's how Hidden Eden happened, Raghav. That's
And
how it happened. Yeah,
before delving into Hidden Eden,
yeah.
how did COVID affect your businesses?
COVID, yes. So COVID, I would say, Raghav, I think COVID with Insurance Gurukul, the exams got delayed. And students weren't allowed to go like physically at the center and write the exams. So I think with Insurance Gurukul there was a drop because people like अभी एग्जाम नहीं होता तो लोगों का माइंडसेट होता है अब ठीक है 2 महीने पहले जब एग्जाम आएंगे तब
Yeah.
पढ़ाई करेंगे. So the revenue kind of dropped for me at IG. And Airbnb in COVID, actually we started in COVID. So I think हमने March 2020 में we started Airbnb. Luckily we had guests who were wanting to kind of get some me space. So I think we got those families who wanted to like kind of run away and like just get a apartment to themselves because we were hosting the entire apartment. It was not like we were renting out
Yeah.
a room. Yeah. So they wanted अपने family के साथ में हैं. They wanted a private space. They wanted a space which was like away from people. So I think we started in March 2020. Airbnb ka journey started in COVID, and that kind of worked for us, Raghav. I think COVID was not an issue with the Airbnb model. With the IG model, yes, my revenues dropped because like people started delaying their preparation process. They were like, जब exam start होंगे उसके 2 महीने पहले they'll wake up and they'll start stuff. So I think, yeah, that's how it happened. So Insurance Gurukul, like for me, so I kind of put a break on it. So from a growth business, I think I converted it into a cash flow generating business.
Right.
Yeah. So for me, that I kind of imposed a restriction on the revenue part, and I just thought कि ठीक है अभी मैं इसको बस यहाँ तक maintain करूँगी. Because beyond this, then my second stream of revenue was the Airbnb thing that we started. Lekin again, like I told you, that also I felt that it was not sustainable. It carried that platform risk. कि कभी भी हो सकता है यार Airbnb बंद हो जाए, or our society just says कि नहीं, stop all stuff, we don't want it right now. Then what? So that's how we thought about Hidden Eden, and I'm like, that's how we just thought we'll get our own land, we'll make our own rules, and yeah. So that's how Hidden Eden happened, Raghav. So.
How did it actually happen? Like, I have been to Hidden Eden and I was like shocked by how great a location it was in. Like, that would have been very difficult to find. I was like, and then I go to the space and it's also thoughtfully designed, like every element there put together. You can see the care that has gone in there. So, like, were these thoughts marinating in your minds for a while, or did you get that land and then start thinking, okay, how should it be?
Yeah, Raghav. Agree. I mean, it was quite an event in our lives, I think, and Hidden Eden is our collective effort, Raghav. I think both of us brought something to the table, which kind of gave Hidden Eden the beauty it has now. I think so. Like coming to the first part of it, like how we found that land, Raghav. So this was our 105th piece of land that we finalized across 2.5 months. So yes, Raghav, I think both of us know. See, when we were looking for this piece of land, we wanted that land to have a certain moat. Moat in the sense कि अगर मैं किसी जने को बैंगलोर से 2 घंटे ड्राइव करके बोल रही हूँ to like come to this place of ours, which like course we wanted to design it in a certain way, inspired by Japanese principles, there should be something about the location that drives them there. It cannot be a regular flat piece of land, right? It has to be something something which drives that calling, कि नहीं ठीक है यार इसको देखने जाते हैं. So
Yeah.
I think both of us had this in mind कि we were not looking for a flat piece of land, and that's why the search kind of spanned for 2.5 months. Because we were actually looking for a mountain, we were actually looking for a piece of hill, actually, I would say. एंड आई थिंक वो ढूंढते ब्रोकर को बोलते नो दिस इज नॉट वर्किंग, दिस इज नॉट वर्किंग, वी लैंडेड अप एट दिस प्लेस where we just stood by, and you know how hidden Eden is, like, so it's overlooking the Jewelgiri mountain range.
Yeah.
And we just stood there, and both of us were like, no, this is the place. I think we stop here.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, because हमें exactly नहीं पता था, Raghav, that this is what we wanted, but what we knew deep within was we were looking for something different. We were looking for something which kind of drives a person, or kind of inspires a person to come and visit the place.
Yeah.
Which kind of yeah. So I think वो calling थी हम दोनों के मन में. And of course we wanted to design a place of simplicity and nature. वो सब था ही. Those were the data points that were always there. लेकिन वो exactly दिखेगा कैसे, that I think just happened on the job. We kept on looking, नहीं ये नहीं बैठ रहा है. We kept on looking, नहीं, no, this is not the one. नहीं वो नई feeling आ रहा है. I think it was a bit intuitive also. Sometimes difficult to define in words, but I think आपको पता होता है कि like okay, yeah, okay, fine. I think this is it.
Mhm.
So I think it just वो iterations थे Raghav. We kept on doing it, and I just know this was our 105th land
Okay.
that we saw, and the search ended there. So
Okay.
like, okay, we have arrived now. हो गया. So
And
yeah.
what about funding the whole project? Like, did your other businesses, the revenue from them
Yes.
contribute to this?
Yes, absolutely. So it was our other businesses that gave us the cash flow to kind of, fund Hidden Eden. And that's how it happened, Raghav. So this is built with all our savings that both of us had with our respective job profiles or businesses that we are doing. And yeah, we just thought, let's put it into a good use. Let's give it back to Mother Earth. We planted around, Raghav, now, I think in the last 3 years, we planted around 4,500 trees there. So I think it's such a beautiful feeling. I think that we have this constant yearning of taking. I think sometimes it's also giving it back. So we've consumed a lot from Mother Earth. I think both of us had the simple feeling ki in our own ways, of course, I mean, you just make difference in your own way with the resources that you have. I think both of us were very sure ki we have to give it back, So that's how we landed on this place. And we our vision with Hidden Eden is like to make it a green oasis, to like kind of convert it into a forest. When we got this piece of land, it was absolutely barren. It was a brown patch that we had purchased. So yeah, now like I think our only vision with this property is to like completely turn it into a forest. So where people can find some calm, they can like just detox, they can just like rewind from the city life, be there, and just find their calling, maybe, because wisdom comes to a calmer mind. So I feel we all are lacking in this generation a bit of calm, I think, like that. So I think I thought that people who will relate to it, they will relate to the place. So I think, and this place also, Raghav, like we are building it with a lot of we are very strict on the filters, like we don't allow any alcohol, there's no smoking allowed, and we try to host only families and stuff like that. So I think like I said, like all the businesses are like, it comes from the compass is within, so it's a reflection of our own personalities, I think.
How,
So
how did
that's
you
how
go
we
about,
are. So it's like,
Nidhi, how did you go about architecting the place? Because the architecture is quite unique of Hidden Eden. You wouldn't have found any architect who would have suggested that design to you, right? So how did you go about just creating that space itself?
yeah.
Because that in
See,
itself is a big project, right? So
yes,
how did
yes,
you manage this project?
yeah. So Raghav, I think our inspiration for the designing came from the Hobbit houses. We both of us were always inspired by the structure, the round, the circular part of the Hobbit houses, and we just thought कि यार अब ना हम लोग कुछ ऐसा नहीं बनाएंगे which has corners. We wanted it to be seamless. Although Hobbit houses are like they have a small window and they are supposed to be dark and dingy, but like with of course with this place we wanted nature to come in. We wanted it to be a place of nature, sun coming in right inside your doors, uh, the look of trees, the chirping of birds. You can hear it as you wake up in the morning. So I think we customized it. We customized it as per our vision of the place, and we haven't hired any architects, Raghav. I think this we had a vision, but I think Apur kind of has put it on paper, like put it for execution. I had a vision, but it was mainly on paper. I think Apur brought it to life. The designing part, the hard skills. So I think I would give the credit to Apur for that. And I was the person who was handling the soft side. I always wanted to uh, I wanted to be true to the ethos of the place, Raghav. So I was more involved in the process, you know, managing customer expectations, designing the ethos, and Apur was more involved, I think, with the execution, the hard execution part, with the help of contractors and all. So, but we had this shared vision that this is how it should look. तो हमारे पास अभी भी पेपर पे सारे डिजाइन बने हुए हैं कि हम विंडो ऐसे बनाएं कि हम ऐसे बनाएं, so we have all the blueprints of all the rough sketches that we have done, and we haven't hired architects there, Raghav. We have done it ourselves. We just got a contractor to, of course, build the place. But these are all our own designs, and we kept on improvising it on the job as well. कि हमें लग रहा था कि so it's very peculiar to make a round window, Raghav. It's not easy,
Yeah.
and even these the laborers, they do not know how to make it round. So what we figured out was so Raghav, we got this mold. Uh, हम लोग जो well खोदते हैं ना, like
Yeah.
when we dig a well, we have a mold, right?
Yeah.
To make it round. We got that mold and we gave it to the laborer, and we're like, इसको लगा के now make it round. You know, because हमने, of course, I think we imagined a lot of stuff, but when we started seeing it getting executed, things were very different. Because some people did not have the skill set also, to do it this way. Pinterest पे जब देखते हैं तो सब कुछ बहुत easy लगता है कि ठीक है ना, ये बता देंगे उसको हो जाएगा. But I think that was a great learning, how to manage people, how to manage the staff, and how to kind of communicate it in a way that it comes to life in the best possible manner. So I think
Were there any
those are journeys that to learn.
Were there any changes that you had to make constrained by the labor, the quality of the workmen or workwomen that you got for the project?
Yeah. We wanted to grow greens on the rooftop, Raghav. If you'll see the cottage, she's in Eugene, we on the top of it, we wanted it to be fully green. We wanted to grow plants or maybe some flowers that are falling down, and
Yeah.
लेकिन we
That's
couldn't
very
execute it. हाँ, मतलब उसमें there are ample of issues. बहुत issues थे, Raghav. I think seepage, and people said नहीं होगा, and then I don't know, वो labor हमें मिला ही नहीं वैसा who could kind of blend with our vision. They're like नहीं, वो building का ये खराब होगा, roof खराब होगा, seepage होगा, water will drip in, it'll make it weak. So I think there were a lot of things that we kind of improvised on the way, on the go. So even so with the tiles that we put, Raghav, in our cottages, they are kintsugi inspired. So kintsugi is a Japanese concept, right? So it basically says that you have to find meaning within the cracks of life. So हम जो tiling करना चाहते थे, we wanted to kind of get these stones which are little zigzag, and then we wanted to do the putty with that golden thing, but we couldn't kind of do it because the laborers said that it's very difficult to make to kind of break a big granite slab into like, these small zigzag pieces. And then I think it was a hell lot of work for them to like kind of arrange it back like a jigsaw puzzle. So I think we let go of that because वो हमसे execute नहीं हो पाया the way we had thought. Although हमारा बहुत मन था कि when people enter, then we'll explain them about Kinshugi,
Yeah.
how, what is this concept. And it's okay if the tiles are not prim and proper. It's fine. That's how life is. It's not prim and proper. But it still has meaning, it still has sense. So like that, we had a lot of ideas, but I think we couldn't like kind of get it executed exactly the way we thought. But I think it's okay. I think that's how, that is how things are. So that is the ethos of the place now. So Apur is a perfectionist in that sense. So he's like, ye kaise aise hona chahiye tha, aise hona chahiye tha. And I'm like, it's okay. Like, this is how life is. Now that we've seen so much, we know like, I think 100% plana is difficult. And that's how I got very inspired by this concept of Wabi Sabi Raghav. So Wabi Sabi in this Japanese concept is about the art of imperfection, that nothing stays forever, nothing is perfect, So I think wo inspiration, I think on the go aata gaya kahin na kahin se, and that's how like we named all the cottages so all of these are Japanese names. For example, our eating area is called Pikuniku. So Pikuniku essentially means like, having picnic in a forest, So I think हमारा बहुत सारा inspiration like started coming from these Japanese philosophies because, I think Japanese philosophy is like, I think they are great life lessons. I feel like, मतलब उनके जितने भी concepts हैं, ikigai, Shinrin Yoku, or, then we have this wabi sabi. I feel they are great life lessons, and like once you like kind of understand it, life becomes a lot calmer. I think it like kind of gets you out of the rat race. I think so. So that's how Hidden Eden happened, Rafa. So yeah,
And
we are still building it. Yeah.
and looking back at your journey with all of these businesses, like, is there some advice that you would give to the Nidhi of 15 years ago about running businesses, doing things? Like, would you do anything differently in hindsight?
Advice would be just one, Raghav. I think we as people have a lot of limiting beliefs. I think as a 15-year-old, I would not have imagined doing so much after marriage. With the kind of like thought process or the like, the way we are set up in a social environment, because people will keep saying you things, right? Ye to ho nahi sakta, ye ho nahi sakta, ye ho nahi sakta, ye ho nahi sakta. I think you have to just cut the noise, and you have to, as long as you believe in yourself, and I think if you have done enough work for it. See, preparation is very important. They say opportunity comes to a prepared mind, or confidence comes from preparation. Agar preparation pe focus hai, and you are like, I'll do the preparation it needs to kind of reach there, I think then all of it is a limiting belief. And then you make choices, Raghav. Of course, you cannot do everything, but then you make choices as per your individual needs. मतलब आपको उसको scale, for example, with my businesses, I made a choice that I'm okay with a 0 to 1 kind of a setup, but I'm not okay at the moment to take it from 1 to n. It was not a capability issue. It was a choice that I made because I wanted to design my life in a certain way.
And how
So
do
I
you
think,
make peace
yeah.
with that choice?
Sorry?
How do you make peace with that choice? In the sense that many times people struggle with the trade-offs and the choice that they made, right? So how did you make peace with the choice that you made?
I did not make peace, Raghav. That was the peaceful choice that I wanted.
Okay.
I did not make peace with, like, I did not take a decision and then made peace with it. That was the life I wanted. So
Right.
everything else was designed around it, I would say. So that's about it, Raghav. I think if you're true to yourself and you find your inner calling, I think things just fall into place. Sometimes I believe, I think we think about it a lot, and I think we get sometimes we like just let a lot of noise enter our minds. But I think that's what I said. Like, I think this generation needs a little bit of, quiet as well. I
Yeah.
think we are bombarded with information all the time. I think and I feel, Raghav, everybody knows what is good for them, what gives them peace, or, what is their calling. Every individual on this earth knows that. It's just that it's sometimes masked with the noise around us. And I think अगर आप वो बार बार अपने inner compass को like if you're centering it, diversions होंगे, Raghav. That is how the world is designed, I think. Diversions होंगे, but like just keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. And I think for me, that is fulfillment. I think guided by my inner self, I think that there'll always be fulfillment.
Right.
Then you do not have to do stuff. Stuff will just happen like the way it has to happen. So
And Nidhi, you have now run three small businesses, created them, running them successfully.
yeah.
Do you have any advice for, because there are a lot of people right now in corporate careers or otherwise who want to start those small businesses of their own as well.
Yes.
So now
Yes.
having created three successful ones, do you have any advice for people who want to make that jump and get started?
Advice as such, Raghav, I think I'll just say, if I have to just, actually there are multiple things, but if I have to like just sum it in one line, I would just say, just listen to yourself and you'll do okay. That's all. That's all I want to say, actually. Just spend time with yourself, see what you truly want, and everything else will fall in place. You'll figure out. Everybody figures out. And everybody figures out. That's the truth. But वो जो अंदर से आवाज आ रहा है ना, that you have to hear very carefully. What
Right.
is it saying? But baki everything else will fall into place. There is enough help in the world, Raghav. You get out there, आपको जहाँ help चाहिए, जहाँ you're getting stuck. And now we are living in an AI age, right? So there's nothing difficult. We are like actually living in a very privileged world now, because your information, your help is at your, it's like at your fingertips. So I think, बस जो important है, I think the only important part is just to like kind of be very present in your inner world. The outside world will just adjust and it will be taken care of. Which inner world, I think that is the most important thing. As long as we can do that, we'll just find a way. And each one of us, not just me, I think every one of us, and I think world will be a happier place. Yeah, so that is what I feel.
And what's next now for you, Nidhi? Like any other business ideas that you are currently thinking of, new small business to start?
So Raghav, now I'm fully into stock markets at the moment. And pata hai, stock markets ka bhi, Raghav, the only journey is, this is the only business. So stock market I also consider as a business. Investing is a business. It's a science. It's a lot of, there is a lot of decision making that is involved when it comes to investing. But I think, Raghav, ye bhi mera calling kyun tha? Because see, the previous businesses, if you will see, they were all 0 to 1, right? They had a revenue potential. With investing and with stock markets, the potential is unlimited. So finally, I'm getting to do something without compromising on my freedom. It gives me a potential to earn unlimited. Because stock market as a subject, as an entity, as an asset class, has an unlimited potential. So I think mere liye now, I think that is the ultimate calling. So I really want to do well in the markets consistently over time. And this business model is a little different. Why? Because it has no inventory, it has no people. I think what is important is your own research, your own studies, your own decision making. But still, it has a monetary benefit, but at the same time, it doesn't compromise on your freedom. I
Right.
still have control over my time. I still can do the multiple other things I'm doing and work well in the markets. So I think, Raghav, now markets are my ultimate calling. And like I said, I had no clue about it. I think it was like, I always feel it was like a God's gift to me. I kept on asking God that now give me something which can do like, 1 to n, but I don't compromise, because I don't want to build businesses. I really want to like build a life, that is sustainable. I want to work till I'm 99. So I think so. One fine day, I landed on this YouTube video, and I just felt, कि ठीक है. I think I connected all the dots quickly, and I'm like, okay, this is one thing I'm learning now. So I started from scratch, Raghav. I had no clue about markets. In fact, markets were looked at in a negative light only. That this is like, it's a very stressful thing and things don't work and stuff like that. But I think, like I said, I always believe that if you have the right preparation, I think you can do anything in life. I mean, tomorrow you want to become a pilot, just understand how they became a pilot. Just do the right work. Just give those hours, get the right mentors, study. The preparation strong hai, so you can do anything. So that was my mindset when I was doing markets.
Right.
And it's been 5.5 years, Raghav. Like I think I've really come from a novice investor to an intermediate one now. And I'm learning, and this is my ultimate calling, I think.
Okay.
Bhishma, but I know, Raghav, I don't know if like, because Apur is like, he's also like a risk taker like me. So he keeps telling me, then I will do this, then we'll do this. Then I'm like, okay, I think now you need a co-founder because I have enough on my plate. So I'm like, I'm not doing anything now, but I don't know. Never say no. But I think for me, that is my ultimate calling, Raghav. That is where I end it. So I'm like, yeah, I know to do well there.
Yeah.
So that's about it, Raghav.
My final question to you, Nidhi.
Yeah.
What makes you happy these days?
Happy.
Yes.
I think, Raghav, happiness, Raghav, I was happy for me as a person, Raghav, I am a happy person. Whether I'm able to, I mean, for me, I think for me, you can be happy, Raghav, even if you haven't achieved what you have to achieve. ऐसा नहीं है वो गोल पे जाके खुशी मिलेगी. You can be happy and you can achieve, you know.
Mhm.
So for me, I have always been a happy person. I think the one thing that has changed is like, for me at this age, all the dots have started connecting. Now that I'm telling you that I didn't want to build businesses, I think I want to design a life. I can say it now. I
Yeah.
couldn't say it when I was building IG. तब तो मुझे लग रहा था यार मुझे कुछ करना है, मतलब खुद
Yeah.
का करना है, इंडिपेंडेंट भी रहना है, फाइनेंशियली इंडिपेंडेंट भी रहना है, बनाना भी है, like I didn't know. But now at 40, everything like kind of, you know I feel like I can just see the picture how it's unfolding. So that has given me a lot of peace, I would say. But I was always a happy person, rather. I think happiness का मुझे कोई problem नहीं आता. मुझे लगता है कि ठीक है, life में challenges आएंगे to do stuff, but you can do it happily, right? You can choose. मतलब मेहनत करनी है, काम, मतलब I remember, Raghav, when I was building Insurance Gurukul, I had no sense of weekends. Weekends क्या होता है मुझे कुछ नहीं पता था. I used to come back from work, I used to work on my plan, then I used to like, मुझे Saturday Sunday का excitement रहता था कि I'll get my full day, because corporate में like you only get time after 7 o'clock, stuff like that. I had no idea what weekends were. But
Yeah.
I did it happily, Raghav, because mere andar, I think I had that aspiration. I decided that goal for myself. Nobody gave it to me. Mera journey tha. So I chose to do it happily. I'm like, ठीक है, happiness is one thing, but I'll keep working. तो उसमें उतने hustle के अंदर भी I was okay. I don't think so that mental toll was like, mental toll came, Raghav, because I didn't had answers to the business challenges. Mental toll did not come because I was not happy as a person.
Yeah.
मुझे वो challenges सारे, there were very new things that I saw and I faced. That kept me thinking. But it was not like, I have anything less. And I'm a person, I'm always thankful, Raghav. Whatever is there in life, I think we are better than so many people. And, and like we are, and we have to aspire to become like, the good things like that people have. We have to aspire to become like them. So I think God has given us enough to all of us. We all have something to be thankful about. I think we just have to find it. And yeah, I have my own spiritual practices, Raghav. I think that keeps me grounded. So I'm very, very thankful for everybody for every opportunity that came, for every challenge that came. I think I look at it in a very positive light. I don't see it, oh, it has come to teach us something. Maybe I don't have that skill right now, but once I'll clear this challenge, or I'll go to the other side, I'll understand what I didn't have. So I will build it. I will improve. And I think, Raghav, one more thing I feel that keeps me happy is like I don't arrive, Raghav. I think people arrive too quickly. So then suddenly, if anything happens, like I feel like it kind of destabilizes them. For me, I think if you keep learning, everything is a learning.
Yeah.
Keep learning. Don't arrive. If you have arrived, just change the room, because there's something else some people have which will let you, you will feel array because you don't know what you don't know, right? मुझे लगता है just सीखते रहो. Everything is a learning. Then there are no regrets. Then there are no failures. Just keep learning. नहीं हुआ कोई बात नहीं. Next try. Next try. I don't know. I function like that. I know I'm a little weird also. People tell me, but I'm like, it's okay. I have to be true to myself. So I'm like, okay, fine. This is what it is.
That's the most important thing, right? To be true to yourself.
हाँ, मतलब whether it's coming across as weird, crazy, but the thing is you have to be true to yourself, because I think we all have our own flaws. We all have our own systems, rather. But as long as it's keeping you fulfilled, life is good. You cannot seek external validation all the time.
Yeah.
You have to be true to yourself. You have to be true to your God. I think बस ये दोनों चीजें कर लो, and life is okay. And all of us are okay. The point is all of us are doing okay. I think we just have to like kind of nudge it a little bit here and there and just find some quiet. And I think all of us are doing amazing. So there's no competition as such. Because but then I think the beautiful part is like all of us are not chasing the same things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as long as you know what you're chasing, and as long as you're true to that path, you'll find peace. I think you'll find that fulfillment. So yeah.